الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد، نتابع درسنا مع هذه الوقفات الرمضانية مع سورة العنكبوت. We continue our class and taking those benefits from Surah Al-Ankaboot during this blessed month of Ramadan. قال الله تبارك وتعالى عن قول إبراهيم عليه السلام لقومه: إنما تعبدون من دون الله أوثانا وتخلقون إفكا إن الذين تعبدون من دون الله لا يملكون لكم رزقا فابتغوا عند الله الرزق واعبدوه واشكروا له إليه ترجعون. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said regarding the statement of Ibrahim alayhi salam to his people, what means, indeed, you only worship besides Allah idols, and you make lies, fabricate lies. Indeed, those that you worship besides Allah do not possess for you the power of provision, so they seek the provision with Allah and worship Him and be grateful and thankful to Him, for indeed to Him you will return. طبعا كان قبل ذلك ذكر الله سبحانه وتعالى لنا عن إبراهيم عليه السلام، ما قال الله تعالى: وإبراهيم، يعني ولقد أرسلنا وإبراهيم إلى قومه، وإبراهيم إذ قال لقومه اعبدوا الله واتقوه ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. أمرهم بعبادة الله وتقواه. So in the previous ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that He had sent Ibrahim alayhi salam to his people, calling them and saying to them, He said to his people, worship Allah and fear Him and have piety. That is better for you if you only knew. فلما أمرهم بعبادة الله وتقواه, after He had commanded them to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and have piety and to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لما أمرهم بعبادة الله وتقواه نهاهم عن عبادة الأصنام وبين لهم نقصها وعدم استحقاقها للعبودية، فقال: إنما تعبدون من دون الله أوثانا وتخلقون إفكا، أي تنحتونها وتخلقونها بأيديكم وتخلقون لها أسماء الآلهة وتختلقون الكذب بالأمر بعبادتها والتمسك بذلك. So He said to them, after He had commanded the people to worship Allah and fear Him and have piety, He forbade them from the worship of the idols, and He showed them and made it clear to them that they do not deserve, meaning the idols do not deserve to be worshipped. He said to them what means, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the meaning of the ayah, indeed you only worship besides Allah idols, and you make lies, you invent lies. Meaning, you make those idols, you make them with your hands, and you give them names, and you name them names and you call them gods, and you make lies, you fabricate lies, and you invent lies by way of commanding people to worship them and to hold on to the worship of those idols. إن الذين تعبدون من دون الله لا يملكون لكم رزقا. إن الذين تعبدون من دون الله، يعني في نقصه هؤلاء الذين تعبدون من دون الله هي أصنام ناقصة ليس فيه ما يدعو إلى عبادته، لا يملكون لكم رزقا. كأنه قيل، يعني قد بان لنا أن هذه الأوثان مخلوقة ناقصة لا تملك نفعا ولا ضرا ولا موتا ولا حياة ولا نشورا، وأن من هذا وصفه لا يستحق أدنى مثقال ذرة من العبادة والتأله، والقلوب لا بد أن تطلب معبودا تألهه وتسأله حوائجها. فقال حثا لهم على من يستحق العبادة: فابتغوا عند الله الرزق فإنه هو الميسر له المقدر المجيب لدعوة من دعاه في أمر دينه ودنياه. فابتغوا عند الله الرزق واعبدوه واشكروا له، يعني اعبدوه وحده لا شريك له، لكونه الكامل النافع الضار المتفرد بالتدبير. واشكروا له أي اشكروا له وحده، لكون جميع ما وصل ويصل إلى الخلق من النعم فمنه، وجميع من دفع ويندفع من النقم عنهم فهو الدافع له. إليه ترجعون أي فيجازيكم على ما عملتم وينبئكم بما أسررتم وأعلنتم، فاحذروا القدوم عليه وأنتم على شرككم، وارغبوا فيما يقربكم إليه ويثيبكم عند القدوم إليه. So, again, he told the people and he made it clear to them that those idols, that they are lies, that they make them themselves, and they give them names, and they claim that they deserve to be worshipped, but in reality, they are things that they invent themselves, and they make them. So, after that, he told them that they do not possess the power of provision. Those that they worship, he said to them, what means, indeed, those that you worship besides Allah do not possess for you the power of provision. So he made it clear that they do not deserve to be worshipped, and that they have nothing to do with being worthy of worship, that they do not deserve to be worshipped, not even with the smallest act of worship. And in general, the hearts and the people, the natural disposition, the natural inclination that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in the people, in the hearts of the people, is that they look for something to worship. They look to worship a deity. And from that perspective, he commanded them to seek to connect their hearts with the one who provides for them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the meaning of this ayah, in the statement of Ibrahim, so seek the provision with Allah. Seek the provision of Allah, seek the provision with Allah, because He is the one who decrees and gives from and provides His servants subhanahu wa ta'ala. And worship Him, and worship Him alone with no partners, because He is the one who possesses the power of provision. He is the one who provides for His servants. He is the one who removes the harm, and He is the one who brings everything that is good to His servants subhanahu wa ta'ala. So He commanded them to worship Him and be grateful to Him for all of His bounties, all of His blessings that He has given to His servants, and the removal of any harms from His servants. And then He said to them, what means, and to Him you will return. To Him, to Allah, you shall return. Meaning He will recompense you. He will judge you and recompense you, reward you for your actions, or punish you for your actions. And He will tell you and inform you of everything that you have done, whether it is done in secret, everything that they have concealed, or everything, as well as everything that they have done in public. So He warned them against coming to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while upon polytheism, while upon associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and rather that they should seek nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do the things for which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward them for. هذه الآيات في الحقيقة قول إبراهيم عليه السلام هذا قول عظيم. هذا كما يعني يبين لقومه كما مر معنا أن هذه الأوثان التي يعبدونها من دون الله لا تستحق العبادة، فينبغي التنبه لهذا، وينبغي معرفة هذا، أن هؤلاء الذين يدعون من دون الله أنهم لا يملكون الرزق، لا يملكون دفع الضر، لا يملكون جلب النفع. ومن العجب العجاب أن يعبد الإنسان ما يصنع بيده. فكم من إنسان ربما صنع يعني تمثالا أو ما شاكل ذلك من الأوثان التي يعبدونها من دون الله، فصنعه بيده واحتاج أن يعتني به وأن ينتبه حتى لا يسقط، لأنه إذا سقط انكسر إلهه والعياذ بالله. فأي سخف وأي قلة عقل هذه. نسأل الله السلامة والعافية، ونحمد الله على نعمة التوحيد. So, the statements of Ibrahim alayhi salam to his people are actually great statements that one should ponder upon. He warned them and showed them and made it clear to them that these things that do not provide, that do not have the power of provision, do not possess the power of provision, and those things that cannot remove any harm or bring any benefit, that they are not worthy of worship. And those are things for one to ponder upon. How many people, they make idols, they make them themselves, and then they worship them. And of course, being idols, it is known that they must clean them, they must keep them clean, they must maintain them, they must be careful. If one makes an idol and worships that idol, he should be careful, because if he drops this idol, it will break or it will bend. His God, the deity that he worships, becomes damaged. So he has to take care of his God. He has to take care of the affairs of his God, because it can break. What kind of foolishness is this? So by Allah, my dear brothers and sisters, we should be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the bounty and the blessing of Tawheed, of singling out Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ونكتفي بهذا المقدار، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.